COVID 19, the novel coronavirus, affected my family. And here is the story.
So my COVID journey starts today. I have tested positive for the virus. Having mild symptoms, fever of around 100 and feeling a little bit breathless. I'm not sure. I think I'll be admitted today. So let's see.
Hi, so as you all saw in the last video, that was the day I had tested positive for COVID. And today I'm going to share with you my COVID journey and my experience. So it all started with my mom having fever. She was having fever for almost 10-12 days. Uh, the doctor that we were consulting was like pretty sure that it was not COVID, and he had not suggested a COVID test. He said that it is a normal viral fever and it was being treated accordingly. But since the fever was not subsiding, we decided to change the doctor. And the doctor that we consulted, the new doctor, immediately had suggested that we get a COVID test done. And also, along with that, he suggested malaria and dengue to be checked as well. So we got everything tested. Malaria, dengue, everything came negative. And for the COVID test, we went into the hospital, and it was a rapid antibody test that was done. And the rapid test result comes pretty quickly, and within like 2 hours we got to know that she is negative. So we were pretty happy and at peace, and we got all the reports and we went to the doctor. Now the doctor saw the reports and also understood the symptoms and said that we get a retest done, RT-PCR retest for COVID. It's called a swab test generally. So we got that tested again the very next day. And the swab test report doesn't come immediately, it takes couple of days to come. So in the meantime, for this 2 days, she started developing all kind of COVID symptoms. She was having breathing issues, and the fever was not coming down. She was having body ache, headache. She had lost the sense of taste, and I think the smell was still there, but she was unable to eat. So we were a little scared as well, because she was having breathing issues, and to be on the safer side, we got the pulse oximeter. We also got a portable oxygen cylinder, and we already had a blood pressure measuring apparatus at home. So we were constantly checking her on all those things. Her oxygen level was slowly deteriorating, and it was coming around 90, 91. Sometimes it was going below 90 as well. And as we all know, if it falls below 90, it is considered to be at a risk level. So we were like getting tensed, and we were nervous. And along with that, she was having breathing issues also. So this was 31st of August. The test results came around in the afternoon at around 3 or so. So an SMS came in my dad's phone that my mom was positive. Okay, and immediately we got a call from the state health officials. They asked what symptoms she had. We told them that she is having breathing problems, she's having fever, and they suggested that we get her admitted to the hospital. We also understood that yeah, she was having some issues, and it's better and safe to get her admitted. After around couple of hours, 5 or 5:30 in the evening, ambulance came from the health department, and she was taken to the hospital. So while all these things were going on for my mom, I had this funny feeling inside that, you know, somewhere I might also be positive, because I was feeling a little bit feverish and also having some body pains. So I checked my temperature and it came as 100. Then I was like, okay, maybe it's a normal fever or something, because the weather is also not good, and it's a viral fever season as well. So I just had a normal paracetamol. And the next day, when my mom came as positive, then I felt okay, I might also be COVID positive. So the next day, we got a call from the government health officials, and they suggested we also get tested. Means me, my sister, and my dad, because my mom had come positive the earlier day and she was admitted to the hospital. We should also get tested. In the afternoon, we three of us went to the hospital, and we got a test done, and this was a rapid antibody test. And we came back around 2 in the afternoon. We just finished the lunch, and it was around 3 or 3:30. I got a call on my mobile from the hospital, and they said that I was positive. And to be very honest, I was not surprised, because I had already started getting symptoms, and I was not surprised at all. At that point of time, I had 101 fever, and not exactly breathing issue, but I was kind of getting breathless. So within an hour or so, I got a call from the government health officials again, the health department. They asked me for all the symptoms, and since I had fever 101 and little breathing issue as well, they suggested that I also get admitted. And I accepted, and the health officials came, the ambulance came, and this was 1st of September. I also went into the hospital around in the evening, around 5, and this hospital name is SNR Carnival. Although it's a private hospital, but due to COVID, government had taken this hospital. I went in there. It was pretty neat and clean, and I finished all the formalities, the admission formalities, and I got admitted. They gave me a single room.
Okay, so this is my second video, day 2 since I tested positive. I'm in hospital now, feeling feverish, blocked nose, and a little bit of breathlessness. No other symptoms as of now. The hospital is really providing us good food and medicines, so fingers crossed.
Yes, so that was day 2 for me. I did not have any major symptom as such, just fever and little bit of blocked nose. Maybe because of that blocked nose, I was feeling a little bit of breathless. But apart from that, no major issues so far. And day 2 was like a normal fever day in hospital.
Hello everyone, so this is the third day. Third day me in hospital. I am doing okay. I don't have fever right now. Another symptom that has developed is I have lost the sense of smell. I realized it last night and I confirmed it today morning also. So I had bought a deodorant. I sprayed the deodorant and I couldn't smell it. So I've lost the sense of smell. Luckily, the sense of taste is still there. So I'm eating. Eating is the only thing that will help me recover, it seems. So the doctors are providing me high protein food. So yeah, hopefully I'll continue to eat and recover soon.
So yes, as you saw in the video from the hospital, the major symptom that cropped up on day 3 was that I lost smell completely. So I couldn't even smell the sanitizer. So I had taken a sanitizer and I sprayed on my hand and I couldn't smell it. And as you all know, sanitizer is a very, very strong, it has a strong odor. So I couldn't smell it. So then I realized, okay, so another major symptom has come up. Apart from that, I was still having a little bit of fever. The fever was going down again, going up. So it was not a constant fever. But that major symptom had cropped up. I lost the sense of smell. The doctors also suggested that I eat whatever they were providing. And I consciously saw that they are providing high protein food like eggs, soya chunks, fish. They're providing chicken. So the food in that hospital was good, not excellent, but it was pretty good. They were providing food 3 times, morning in the breakfast, lunch and dinner. And every time I noticed that it is a high protein kind of a food. So I was trying to eat everything because I heard, like I said, that one of the thing is you need to eat properly and continuously eat. That is one of the cure for COVID.
So it's day 4 in hospital. I still have fever and lost the smell and sense of taste. Also physically very weak. Just getting up from the bed seems like a big exercise. So as you can see, I'm lying down and taking my medicines and drinking a lot of water to keep myself hydrated.
So that was day 4. As you can feel from the video itself, I was, my health condition started deteriorating. I was having more breathing issues. Getting, like I said in the video, getting up from the bed was like a big exercise for me. Going to the washroom and coming back was a exercise for me. So it was slowly getting worse.
So it's day 5. Still having fever and I feel like the smell sense is slowly coming back, not fully, but very strong smell I'm getting. Doctors have given azithromycin and also paracetamol. Oxygen level is 96. So all good signs so far. Let's see.
Day 5. My health did not deteriorate on that day. It was still the same. I was having constant fever. I was having the same tiredness, same issues going up, go to the washroom, getting tired. All those things were there. The only thing is that I felt the sense of smell was slowly coming back. So that was a positive sign for me. That was the only change I realized on day 5.
So it's day 6, 5:30 a.m. My fever got up to 103, and even after having paracetamol, the fever was not coming down. So they have decided to push paracetamol by injection. It's an injection. So let's see.
So, day 6, as you can see, my health got deteriorated, and probably that's the last video that you're going to see. Post which I could not record any more videos because I was not in a condition to shoot any more videos. Uh, Day 6 was very, very tough for me. Probably I didn't expect that COVID is going to hit me so hard. Uh, I was having high fever. The fever was not going down even after having paracetamol tablets. Uh, the whole night I could not sleep, and at the end, the doctors decided to put me on IV fluids. So they set up all that things, injections, paracetamol injections to get the fever down. I had a fever of 103 or 104 maybe. I was trying to wash my head, do all sort of stuff, but the fever won't go down. It was a long night, very tough night. The doctors were there next to me, wearing the PPE kits and all. The sisters were there. They were constantly monitoring my situation. And the going got very, very tough. Like I said, I didn't expect that, I'm going to get affected in such a way. So, surprisingly, even after putting me on the injection, paracetamol injection, the fever won't go below. It came down to 101, but it won't go below that. I was not having any chills or anything. There was nothing, but it was just a fever. And actually, I was feeling very hot. Generally, when you have fever, you feel chills, like you feel like putting a blanket or something, but nothing like that. I was feeling hot, but the temperature was constantly there, and mild breathing issues were there. So what happened is I was getting dehydrated, and I was drinking a lot of water. Actually, the doctors and suggested that I drink a lot of water. So I was drinking, and I had to get up and go to the washroom multiple times. And every time I went, I felt more tired. And I was coming back to the bed, and I was like taking deep breaths. And I was constantly feeling like something is stuck around my throat. Something is blocking me from breathing. I was unable to breathe. The whole of the air was not getting into my lungs somehow. It was a strange feeling. Never had such feeling. I have had fever multiple times, but the feeling of that that night I couldn't really explain, and that whole thing went on for almost 5-6 days. Like I said, I couldn't really record any videos of how my condition was, because I was constantly, they had put this channel on my hand for 2 days. They put the channel here, then my hand was swollen up, then they decided to move the channel to this hand, and they were giving all sorts of injections, like paracetamol injections. They are giving me antibiotics. Obviously antibiotics doesn't work, but it helps you in other infections, so that your lungs doesn't get affected or anything. At the end, I saw that they were putting an injection in my stomach, my belly. I didn't know what was that. I asked them, is it insulin because my sugar has gone up or something? Then they said no, it's a steroid. So within those 6 days, from 6th to 12th, I have lost count how many injections they have given me. They were giving me paracetamol injection on one hand. Suddenly they were giving me such a big injection which was yellow in color, and it was like burning. When they were giving me that injection, it was burning from inside. and I was literally like kicking the bed. It was terrible feeling. I know I'm not trying to scare you, uh, but COVID hit me so hard that I never expected that I would have to go through all these things. I've seen those people, struggling for oxygen in YouTube videos and on TV, and they show those videos. But I never expected that the same thing, the same feeling I would have to go through, the same experience I would have to go through. So the doctors, they were putting me on tests. They were doing blood tests for consecutively 4 days. So they were checking if everything was fine. The RBC count, the WBC count, platelet count. Platelet count had really gone down. So at that point, they also didn't know what to do. It went to somewhere around 80,000, I think. Then from the second day, it started going up, which was positive sign for me. Uh, they had also done a ECG. They did X-ray. 2 times X-ray was done in that week. They were also doing other tests, but somehow the fever won't go down. The fever would stay at 102, 103. They put me on injection, paracetamol injection, and they were giving all those colorful injections. The fever would come down to 101. Again, after a couple of hours, it would go up. At that point, I was eating like in small portions, not eating completely, just because the doctor said that you need to eat. Don't stop eating, because that will even not help my cause any further. So I was eating. I was pushing myself to eat, although I was feeling all the bitter taste. It was not tasting good, but still I was eating. So the only thing that kept me going is the doctors and the nurses. They always gave me that positive feeling that you'll be fine, you'll be fine. So I realized at a certain point that, okay, since they are positive and they are trying their best, I think I'll be fine. So the positive feeling that should be there, whenever anybody gets affected, the positive feeling really helps. And just be strong from inside that, okay, you'll be fine. It's just another disease. Okay, so I know, the things that happened to me, I got scared. I was worried. I stopped talking to people, and I was only talking to my sister and a few close people only. At a point, I even thought that, okay, is the treatment being done correctly? Should I move to a private hospital, like a better hospital than this? So I was consulting my sister also at that point of time, and I was really worried at a certain point of time, and I didn't know what to do. So this thing continued for 4 5 days, and then slowly I somehow felt that the fever started coming down. Maybe that was on Thursday. First time the fever went down below 100, but I was still very tired. And when the at that time, since Thursday, I started having major breathing issues, and they checked the oxygen level, and the oxygen level had gone down below 90. So they had to put me on oxygen support as well. So I was on oxygen support for 2 3 hours. Then after that, they checked the oxygen level had gone up. They asked me to drink a lot of water. So drinking a lot of water actually helps in your blood oxygenation. So the doctor suggested that I drink a lot of water. So I was drinking a lot of water, and you know that really helped. Few other things that I want to share in that period that has happened that did not help my cause at all is, obviously, when you're in a hospital, critical patients do come in, and unfortunately, the emergency or the critical ward was right in front of my room, and actually I saw 3 people die in front of me. It was really scary, the way they died, running short of breath, and after they passed away, they were being covered in a plastic bag and they were being taken away. So that was really scary. I was not getting sleep at night. They were giving me sleeping pills so that I could sleep, but I was still not getting sleep. And things only got worse during those 5-6 days. Uh, Talking about the nurse and the doctors, so they are really like, I have not seen God, but if I could say that, they are as equivalent, or, if I have to say they are the real God, in human disguise, or wearing that white PPE kit. They are risking their life, they are putting their lives in danger of that deadly virus, and they are, doing their best to save all the patients. I don't have any words to thank them. Heartfelt gratitude and thanks really from the bottom of my heart, whatever they did for me. And they constantly kept me going. Even my sister back at home, she was doing a lot of research and sending me all the articles, what I should do and what not to do. I shouldn't get worried and all. So she was reading a lot of stuff and sending those to me. So I was keeping myself busy, and I'm really thankful to her for keeping me going at that time, because she was the only one that I was talking to constantly and I was updating her. And by that time, my sister had also developed some mild symptoms, like she was having fever, she was having a sore throat, but they were very mild symptoms, and she was staying at home and she was in home quarantine. So from Thursday, my fever started going down 98, 99. Sometimes it was going to 100. So for 3 days, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, I was not getting fever. So they decided to discharge me. And I got discharged, I came back home, and here am I. I am still isolating myself. I am on the 9th or the 10th day of isolation, still 5 more days to go. I am drinking a lot of water. I am taking vitamin tablets, and also vitamin C tablets. I'm taking haldi milk. I'm taking Giloy tablets. So these are all immunity stimulants, and I'm trying to keep myself busy with something, reading something, not get bored. I've started working as well from today. So slowly things are falling in place for me. The only thing that I will like to tell everyone is, I know the situation was really tough, but keep yourself going, and it's just another disease. Eat properly, don't stop eating, drink a lot of water, and keep yourself going, keep yourself motivated. This is just another disease and it will be fine even if you get the disease. So like I recovered, my mom also recovered, and both of us are back at home. Both of us are still isolating, 4 or 5 more days. Like I said, we still will be isolating. So everybody will be fine. I mean, even if you get the disease, don't worry. Like both of us are fine now. Everybody else will be fine. So don't worry even if you get the disease. Thank you for watching the video.